And I wonder if this movie has a following, if there's, or if this has a cult following somewhere.
I'm going to be on lookout at conventions now to see if I can find like somebody cosplaying as the killer. Because I feel like with as many conventions as I do and as many people as I see, like there's a possibility, like a non-zero chance that like somebody might be cosplaying as the killer from Cry_Wolf.
I mean, you got to look underscore for, I mean, yeah, if you see someone wearing a full face mask down, like a orange ski mask, yeah, maybe. Big camo jacket. I mean, it also could be just a guy dressed up in the winter.
What's going on, everyone? It's been 20 years of Joel's Crappy Movies, and we're taking a look back at the movies of Joel's Crappy Movies. So, Joe, what are we taking a look at this week?
Hey, Phil, this week we're talking about Cry_Wolf, a horror movie about a bunch of kids that decide to start their own serial killer and, spread it around school and just to see what happens. They take a game about hunting a killer and let it grow out of control. That's the basic idea, basically. Um, it stars a group of beautiful teenagers. Most notably, maybe, is Jared Padalecki, who we've already seen this year star in one of those movies. I mean, this year, I'm talking about 20 years ago. He was in House of Wax, which also came out, the summer before this one. But yeah, he was really just like in his zone in these movies. The rest, I don't really recognize so much. They didn't go on to great things necessarily in the world that I saw. But if you go deeper down the list of actors, you find John Bon Jovi and Gary Cole, who's doing a British accent. Two very strange things that, like, if you're like, take a million guesses to guess who's in this movie and what kind of accent they're using. Never would have got John Bon Jovi. Never would have got Gary Cole doing a British accent. But really happy to see them both.
Okay, for a second though,
Yeah,
when you said Gary Cole, my mind immediately went to Gary Coleman, which is a completely different movie.
that is a different movie. So the main character of this movie, his name is Owen in the movie, and he's a troubled youth bouncing from the school to school. He's a tall, skinny white guy with a British accent. And if his dad showed up at the end and it was Gary Coleman, the star of Different Strokes, I mean, it takes different strokes to rule the world, I guess. Like, that's what Different Strokes is about. Oh my God, I'm the bad guy in this situation. It's perfectly
I mean,
normal that Gary Coleman would be his father. It's not
this
weird at
would
all.
be this would be like a stealth like sequel to Different Strokes.
Right. And go back in time and they're like, can a show like this work? Here it is, proof of concept. It can work. Anyway, so it's not Gary Coleman, but it could have been, and that would have been fun too. All right, so he's this kid. Owen is this kid who has sort of been kicked out of dozens of schools, and he's landed at this new school. It's like a prep school, so everyone's dressed in prep attire, and everyone lives there, and everyone hates each other. uh, and he gets kind of roped in by this group of kids, and he gets invited to this game that they play, and they're basically playing what turns out to be werewolf back in the day, mafia later on, and then Among Us and Traitors in in the current timeline. And I'd forgotten that this was the setup for the movie, and I was like, oh, this is so hot right now. Like this idea of like someone's the bad guy and you have to figure out who the bad guy is. I wonder if Cry Wolf was going to have like a popularity spike, but it's not the whole basis of the movie. They like play it once and then they decide to take it to the next level. And them taking it to the next level is creating their own serial killer. They send out an anonymous email to the school, and it talks about how this girl that had died the previous weekend is connected to a string of serial killings, and the person wears an orange mask, and camouflage jacket and uses a hunting knife. When the guy finally shows up, you're like, that is the most. If you ask like a liberal to describe a conservative bad guy, it is this. It is this guy. Like I don't know what the reverse of that is, but like I was like, wow, that's the most conservative villain I've ever seen in my life. And not to get political, but it had occurred to me. And this movie is not politically correct. It was deep in 2005. It's deep in the targeting teens era genre. Like people are made fun of for being a girl or gay or overweight. You know, there's a interracial couple, and that is how they're introduced. It's like it's not like, hey, here's Lewis and Mercedes. It's like here's this couple that is an interracial couple. It's like I don't know. I guess you have in movies you have to have a lot of exposition, but it didn't then, and it doesn't need to be not politically correct. I don't know. I don't want to get super woke, but this movie didn't either. So, I mean, let's see. How do I explain what happens next without spoiling anything? Basically, this one kid, Owen, the star of the film, sort of becomes the target of things that happen. Things escalate. He's getting weird emails. His life is unraveling
Mhm.
because of this thing that they've created. And you have to wonder, is it real or is it just a game? As it gets worse for him, he's, on the verge of being kicked out of school. And is it because there's really a serial killer that's harassing him? Or, you know, did the thing that they made up, was it real? Was it real all along? And you have to play that guessing game. It's kind of fun, but also not kind of fun.
Okay.
This movie has a weakness in that it's not very scary and not a lot of people die. And for a slasher film, that's a real that's a real killer. Like you have this whole cast of young characters, and like some of them just go away for a while. Some of them might be dead, but there's no like hunting and chasing, and
Yeah.
that happens in maybe the last 20 minutes of the movie where people start suddenly like getting attacked, and you're like, thank God, because what I showed up for these attacks, these slasher attacks, and so as a slasher movie, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But it is really, really trying hard to play the mind games, um, and it does well, and it doesn't do well at the same time. I want to give credit to a couple things. One is the actress that plays a character named Dodger. Her name's Lindy Booth. She's sort of the main antagonist, um, and she's very good in this. She's a good balance of like girl next door that you want to get to know, but she's also the bad girl next door. So like I kept thinking like, oh, she's a real Jennifer Love Hewitt quality, but the evil, like the evil version of her, uh,
Evil twin?
evil twin, very much evil twin. She's curling her mustache the whole time, um, but she's fun to watch, and she keeps you guessing. Um, so I appreciated her performance. The other thing that really I thought was special about this movie is they really nailed this one idea. There's this scene where there's a girl, she's going to take a shower, and she's talking to her boyfriend on the phone, and she's still in her pajamas, but she goes into like the mass bathroom, and she's sort of uh, facing towards the mirror, and the boyfriend's like, "Oh, send me a pic." So she takes a sexy pic, and she starts to send it, and he's like, "Oh, it hasn't come through yet." But even in that moment, you're like, oh, in the pic she takes, holding it up like this, there's going to be someone behind you. So like it gives you just enough time for the audience to get ahead of things and get excited for that moment of like, he's going to see something that she doesn't know is there and isn't that great. And what's great about it, especially, is that it's the perfect mix of technology and horror and sexiness. Like it's got the whole package in a very 2005 way, and I thought that it worked especially well in this movie. So in that scene, I was like, bravo, a well executed moment. I really appreciated it. But overall, not a huge fan of this. Wish I was, but I went back to see like what I thought of it 20 years ago in my review back on the site, and I did not love it. I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 10.
Wow.
And 2 of those points for Gary Cole. One for him just being there and one for him showing up with an accent. Um, I just you know what? My biggest takeaway is it really isn't scary. Uh, and this is a movie that sort of hangs its hat on being scary, and it's not.
Yeah.
I was bummed out.
Um, well, before I get to my main thought, um, like sending a selfie, which I don't would they even have called it a selfie in 2005? I don't know. But
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yes, yeah. It was on a
like
flip phone too. That's the other thing.
yeah, can't see anything. Like
Yeah. He's like, "I
um
can't see you, but there's definitely something behind you."
it makes me think like if this movie were set like I don't know, I guess it would maybe in the mid 90s, like do you remember like ever downloading like a JPEG and it taking forever and it kind of loading like line by line? Like I mentioned that there's some like horror like element to that. Like you could mine that, like have that be some sort of setup. Unfortunately, this movie said 2005, so like
It's a little bit
um,
more advanced at that point.
yeah, a little bit more. The
I
internet speeds are
mean,
just a little bit faster.
a comparison to that that comes to mind is something like in Scream where, um, the TV camera guy is in his truck watching footage from inside the house, but there's like a 30-second delay.
Yeah, like
So you get to see, like, the madness as it unfolds, but, by the time they know there's trouble, Ghostface is already at the truck. It's too late. So, but yeah, I wonder if it's ever been done, the whole line by line,
yeah.
waiting for it to load. Yeah.
I feel like that has been done with like faxes. Like, it's like, oh, we're faxing you a portrait of the killer, and on the other end, it's coming out line by line. And by the time it comes out, the person's standing right behind them.
That's great.
Hold up,
I
they
love
hold
that.
up they hold up the artist rendering, and then like the person's like right there as well.
He's like, "Oh." No, that's great. Yeah. And, as much as had liked it, like that moment in this film, I recognize that it is a part of the cliche, but my point is just that it's like it's very much of the technology of that moment, including the delay, including the, like, anticipation. But yeah, I'm sure it's been done better a billion times in other places,
Yeah.
but it's good
Um,
here.
but speaking of Scream, do you think that Cry Wolf was trying to be subversive in the way that Scream was? N- Not so much being like meta to the whole horror genre, but like because you mentioned that it's kind of like a slasher movie without the slashing, the slasher.
Yeah.
Um, so like I could see it like the person I don't know who wrote it or directed it, but I can imagine them being like, you know what, we're gonna do a slasher movie where nobody dies. Huh?
That's like a pitch on Seinfeld, like he's yeah, the slasher movie where no one dies, the slasher movie where nothing scary happens. Um, that might have been the pitch. If so, I can't believe that it got made. Um, and I wonder if this movie has a following, if there's or if this has a cult following somewhere, because it's not something you hear about too much. It's not like no one's talking about that killer with the orange mask and the
Yeah.
conservative getup. No one's talking about that. Um, so I wonder if it has a following, but
I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure there are at least 2 people, not you and I, who
not
are
this guy
fans
or
of
this
this
guy.
movie.
Yeah. Well, oh, good for them.
I I'm gonna be on lookout at conventions now to see if I can find, like, somebody cosplaying as the killer, 'cause I feel like with as many conventions as I do, and as many people as I see, like, there's a possibility, like, a non-zero chance that, like, somebody might be cosplaying as the killer from Cry_Wolf.
I mean, you got to look underscore for. I mean, yeah, if you see someone wearing a full face mask down, like a orange ski mask, yeah, maybe big camo jacket. I mean, it also could be just a guy dressed up in the winter.
So, do you own this movie on DVD or Blu-ray?
I don't like I said, even back then, I was kind of unimpressed by it. Um, And as much as I liked, that one Lindsay Booth's performance and, um, certain things about it, it wasn't enough for me to latch on or really be like, "I need to own this. I need to revisit this." And I don't think I have revisited it since 2005.
Yeah. So you mentioned Jared Padalecki is the one name that kinda stands out for you in the main cast.
I would say of the teen stars, he's certainly the most famous, yeah.
Yeah. Is he the is he the main star? Is it is he the main
No,
guy?
no. He was the main star of House of Wax, but he's not the main star here, and I don't know why. Maybe this was filmed earlier and just didn't have a chance to come out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just gonna see what his career was like back then, and it was in 2005, it was House of Wax and Cry Wolf. 2007, he did House of Fears, but he's uncredited.
The House
And then he did
trilogy?
f the House he's in the House trilogy. And then he did Friday the 13th, but then he did Gilmore Girls, and then he hopped on to Supernatural. He actually does not make as many movies as he used to. This was his big movie section of his life.
Well, I mean, Supernatural has taken up, like, a decade of his life, so
It sure has, yeah.
not really much time for anything else besides Supernatural. So I guess, if somebody's looking for a movie with similar vibes to Cry_Wolf, is there something you would
Sure.
recommend?
I really wanted to find something that was not just a horror movie and not just a slasher movie, but something that was about a group of people and they have to find out who the killer is. But that's easy. That's Agatha Christie. That's Knives Out. There's a billion movies. That's Clue. It's murder mystery. It's like murder happens. Let's figure out who did it. But it was more important to me to find one that was based around a game. Like this is a group of people that are trying to figure out who the killer is, but somehow is involved a mafia style game, an Among Us style game, a trader style game, something like that. And I found a movie called The Last of Sheila, which I watched today, from the early 70s. And it was about a group of rich folks that go uh, on a yacht, and there's a game master, and he has invited them all out. And each night at 8 o'clock, they play a game, and something is revealed, and each person has a hidden secret. Uh, it takes a crazy twist at about the hour mark where the game master is killed, and they realize that like this is serious business. Um, and they realize that not only do they have these cards where it has like each person's given a card that says you know are a hit and run driver, and you have to be like, oh, I'm secretly a hit and run driver, but someone in the group really is, even if it's not that person. And that's what they learn out after the fact. That's what they learn after the fact. The whole second hour of the movie is them talking it out, and then one guy figures it out, and the denouement of this thing is like 40 minutes long. It's crazy. Like he really hashes it out. And I was like, this is
It's a Return of the King
fantastic.
style?
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. There's one scene where all the Baggins clan come by to give their 2 cents. No, but it's James Mason plays this guy that sort of figures it out. Spoiler, James Mason isn't the killer, but anyway. But he like unpacks it, and I was like, I love that unpacking. I love the exploration of everything they've gone through. And it was a movie that where as soon as I was finished, I was like, oh, I want to go watch this again. It was so good. Bonus: once the killer is called out by James Mason, the killer has no gloves but wants to kill James Mason. So the killer puts on two puppets, like like, and the killer's like, I don't have any gloves. And he like pops up out of nowhere and like attacks the guy. I was like, oh, this is so good. Anyway, The Last of Sheila, a really nice surprise on a Tuesday afternoon. Knocked my socks off.
Nice. I really thought the way you were leading up to it, I thought you were gonna say I think it's called Werewolves Within. Is that the movie with,
Werewolves it is it's a great choice too. Yeah, with Sam Richardson and
yeah.
uh, what's her name? I
Yeah, I
can
don't
never pronounce
remember.
her last name. Yeah,
Melissa Weintraub?
yes, that
Not
sounds right.
not Meli I don't think it's Melissa, though.
Let's get it right. Milana. Werewolves
myself.
Within with Milana Vaintrub and Sam Richardson. Great movie, and also based around a game.
Yeah. And I wanna say it's probably similar to, like, Among Us and Mafia and Werewolf, I guess, because, Werewolves Within. So I feel like the game is very similar as well, if not the same.
We need more movies like that. It's a fun idea that even Cry Wolf didn't really properly take advantage of, but whatever.
Yeah. Alright. So have you seen Cry_Wolf? Are you one of the 2 people who really enjoy that and love it? Are you cosplaying as the killer from Cry_Wolf?
Yes.
Drop us a comment,
Come
let us
by
know. Send
come
us a
by
picture.
Awesome Con booth. Come by Awesome Con this weekend and show us.
Yep, Evil D30 Artist Alley. Um, but if you like this, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber, and we'll catch you all on the next one.